Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the GSD show. Today I'm here with Jake Steinfeld, a legend in the fitness business game, and we're going to be talking about how he grew his empire and what he's up to today. So stay tuned.
If you own a gym or you need a gym, this is your guy.
Hi, I'm Mike Arce, and I've spent most of my career in the fitness industry and helping those in it succeed. And after helping over 2,000 studios and 50 different franchises within the industry, I've learned a lot about what it takes to be successful. Here, I'll teach your studio how to advertise, how to sell, retain more members, increase profits, and become an overall better business owner in the space. And I share it all with you here. Welcome to the GSD show. Now, if you guys were at all in the 90s, early 2000s, 80s, you were watching TV at any time, you definitely saw a ton of infomercials with my boy Jake Steinfeld from Body by Jake. And this guy is a legend. And so we've got him on the show, and you can see what his, if you don't know what his tagline is, like, you know, ours is GSD, but Mr. Jake over here is Don't Quit. Jake, welcome to the GSD show. How are you doing?
All right, Mike, how you doing? I like the intro, man. I like the energy. Now I understand why you're as successful as you are, brother.
I love it. Well, I'm here to learn from you. I want to learn from you today because we're obviously really looking to help as many gyms and fitness studio owners as possible through our company and what we're doing. I think we've done a pretty good job, but there's always another level to it. And your face, your name is pretty well recognized. And so talk to me about, when was that trigger for you? What was the year that you went from, okay, I got to take it up a notch. I got to take it to another level. I want to be everywhere.
Well, man, that's first of all, that's an interesting question. I'll take you back a little bit, set the stage. I was an overweight kid, had a bad stutter growing up. My dad bought me a set of weights at 13, changed my life. Not only did the weights build my body, but it built my confidence and self-esteem. That was back in Brooklyn, New York. And I had this dream, man, as I started exercising and started feeling good about myself. I want to go to California to become Mr. America. Bodybuilding was it for me. Let me set the stage, too. This was, I went to college upstate New York, you know, Cornell University?
Yep, of course.
Yeah, sure. I went to Portland, down the street.
Okay.
So, you know, not as sexy as Cornell. And it was fall 1977, and it wasn't too conducive to walk around in your gold lame posing trunks in 18 inches of snow. So, you know, we all have dreams. I know, Mike, you talk to a lot of different people about pursuing their dreams. We all have dreams. And mine was, man, I wanted to become Mr. America more than anything in the world. But here I was, upstate New York. I was the first one in my whole family to go to college. My parents never went to college. Their parents never went to college. And that phone call, well, let me just be honest. My mom used to call every day to check in on me, see how things were going. And I'll never forget, she says, how's poli-sci, how's your English classes? And I took a big deep breath, Mike, and I said, Ma, I'm going to go to California to become a bodybuilder. Silence on the phone, man. And all of a sudden I hear, Herbie, my dad, pick up the phone and talk to your kid. I'm putting my head in the oven. And I'll never forget the bus ride from upstate New York to Baldwin, Long Island. Felt like I was going from here to Australia. Because, you know, look, you talk a lot about it, man. We all have dreams, and sometimes we don't express our dreams because, A, you don't want to get hurt. You don't want people sort of making fun of the dream, especially, you know, if you have something really wild. And as I expected, look, when I told my friends, I had a girlfriend, they all said, come on, what are you, out of your mind, man? You're never going to become Mr. America. You'll be back in 6 months. My mom and dad were very sweet, but they all said, listen, go to L.A., get it out of your system. You'll come on home after that. Made the trek. I entered the Mr. Southern California contest, Mike, in 1978. The guy that beat me was on steroids. I came in second place in that contest. Now, wait a second. I read all the muscle magazines. Everybody said eat 18 eggs and 24 chickens a day, and you too could become Mr. America. Well, you know, I clucked a lot, but it didn't happen for me. And it was a simple reason. I'm a big believer in decision-making. And I have 4 kids, married almost 32 years now to my wife Tracy. And we talk a lot about decisions. And I think you would imagine the same thing. If you have to think about something too long, too hard, probably something you shouldn't be doing. And I made a decision at 18 years old, left my family, left my friends. Here I am in LA, man, oh man. And the dream between becoming a professional bodybuilder was putting a needle in my own buttissimo. And I got to tell you something. The reason why I didn't do it is because I was afraid. That was the bottom line. I was afraid of doing it. And thank goodness I never did. Right place, right time. I didn't want to go back to New York, in my mind, a loser. And I stayed. And, you know, I'm in Studio City, California, man. And this moment, because I'm a big believer in life, is about moments. An actress who was getting ready to do a Club Med commercial saw me sitting out at the pool, as every good bodybuilder does. You know, work out in the morning, catch a race during the day, and bounce in a bar at night. And she explained that she was getting ready to do a Club Med commercial. She had 6 weeks to get in shape for it. She said, you know, I like you, but I don't want to look like you, Jake. And just to set the time, this was 1978, 79. You know, Jane Fonda had just come on the scene. High-impact aerobics. Women were very intimidated by using weights. They thought they were going to get big muscles. You remember that, Mike? And,
right.
And so what I did was I thought, okay. She goes, you know, I like you, Jake, but I don't want to look like you. Could you come up with a workout to come to my boyfriend's house and do the workout there? And I said, okay. She says, how much is it going to cost? I said, I don't know. Give me gas money for my 1977 white Camaro, which I had Jake 77 on the license plate. Always kept a very low profile. Very, as entrepreneurs, you know, got to keep a very low pro. As you see, GSD show behind you, low profile, baby. And basically what I did is I came up with a workout using a broomstick, a towel, you know, resistance training. If I were to hand you the towel, Mike, and say, Mike, do some bicep curls, you pull up, I pull down. If I were to hand you 2 25-pound dumbbells, I can probably give you more resistance using the towel. Psychologically, though, this is not weights. It's a towel. It's okay.
Right.
And a broomstick for twists, a chair for push-ups, 2 cans of Mama's tomato paste. I did a 30-minute workout because I love training. I used to love going to the gym. Always loved going to the gym. But I never hung out in the gym too long. I want to get my workout in and get out. And went to her boyfriend's house in Beverly Hills, gave me the address. And if you weren't on the cover of Musclehead Digest, brother, I didn't know who you were. So a guy answers the door. Turns out to be Francis Ford Coppola.
Wow.
And I just looked at the guy and I said, wait, this guy could use a workout too. And they were great to me. They really loved the workout. They started going to parties and people started saying, what are you doing? This guy Jake comes to my house. He's got this 30-minute workout with a broomstick, a towel, and a chair. Mike, true story. Now, remember, there was no cell phones. So I went from upstate New York to LA, and I never listed my phone number. For a lot of people, back in the day, you had to list your phone number in a phone book in order so people could contact you.
Right.
It was the best thing I never did because, you know, in this town, in LA, or anywhere, if you're good, and people want to get a hold of you and they can't, they seem to want you more.
Right.
And it became this mystique of who is this guy? You got to get him. And all of a sudden, I'm getting phone calls from people like Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford and Priscilla Presley and Bette Midler and Warren Beatty and all these amazing humans. And I learned this unbelievable lesson, though, Mike. They're just like us. The only difference is they had a dream and they never quit on their dream and never took no for an answer. And you know what? That gave me all the incentive in the world to say to myself, wait a second, I might never direct ET2, but I'm going to have my own success in life. And I was able to parlay that famous by association, Mike, into videos and books and television shows. Ted Turner became a great mentor to me, gave me my start doing television, doing the fitness break, these 60-second vignettes
That's where I want to ask a little bit more here because so there was a moment there where because it sounds like you were mainly getting connected to these celebrities, these other well-knowns by referral, right? Which that, you know, I think a lot of people don't like to say this stuff like there's no such thing as luck, but in reality, sometimes you get a referred client and it could be a really good, it's just what you do with that luck. Some people don't know how to use luck. And some people just, they have luck all the time and they just let it go away. And other people go, hold on, this is a really good opportunity. Not everyone gets this opportunity. I'm going to leverage this at the highest possible level. And so you got a really good opportunity where you started getting into these spots and you were getting referred, which is really cool. But what happened? What was the night where you said, I'm going to go bigger? Like what do you remember the night or the day where you're like, how do I get on TV?
No, listen, man. Mike, listen, I wish I had a really cool story, because the story is the best, because I never dreamed of any of this. This was never, there was no business plan. I got a phone call from a publicist one day and said, hey, everyone's talking about you, and we want to do a story, People Magazine. What's the name of the company? And I thought to myself, geez, Body by Jake. And wow, that sounds incredible. And I made 12 T-shirts up, Mike. And I gave the 12 T-shirts to my 12 clients. And Steven Spielberg, one of the first T-shirts I made, I gave to him. He goes, Body by Jake. Wow, that sounds like a brand. On the back of the T-shirt, though, Mike, I put the Steinfeld method. And he goes, are you a dentist? What is this? He goes, get rid of this. Methods are like fads. Right. Fads come and go. Brands can live forever. That was a moment that I remember. And from that moment, that people, Ted Turner giving me my opportunity, which, like anything else, doors are opening all the time. You just have to see them. You got to let things happen sometimes. When they do, when you see that light, you see that crack in the door, bang, man, you got to go after it. And for me, because I hung with these people, everything was real, meaning the dream became a reality. These people were like I said, just like you and me. There was no difference. I said, wait, if they can do this, whatever that is, I can do it too. And I just kept pushing. Now listen, I failed a lot, but I also succeeded a lot. And in life, you have to take shots. And it's really one of those things where everything that I did, I just kept parlaying. Never settle. I never settled. I kept saying, okay, there's the Fitness Break on Cable News Network, which led to a syndicated television show, and then books and videos. And then I had this dream to create the first linear fitness television network, which was called Fit TV. I'm training all these executives. I'm on television. I'm learning about what's going on now. And you learn, look, success breeds success, right? You want to hang around with successful people, man. At the end of the day, like anything, when we all have ideas, passions, right? This was something, I wasn't working. I love what I was doing. And everything just kept building on one another. And then, you want to surround yourself with the right people, which I was doing, gave me more opportunities, and you just kept parlaying. And for me, everything revolved around hope, health, and family. And those three things is what I built my business, my brand, and everything that I've done and continue to do every day.
Now, one of the things that in order to be successful at anything at a high level, you've got to get information from the outside and add it to what you got inside. So like you talked about being a bodybuilder, no one's born knowing how much protein you need to eat or what protein is and how it works. No one's born knowing how many reps or sets you should do, how much rest time you should do, how you should drink water and then dehydrate yourself prior to going on stage. A lot of people don't really you don't know that. You have to get that from the outside and put it in. And there was a moment where you were like, okay, cool, I'm going on TV. And I remember your infomercials. I mean, you were the man. You had a system, you had a process, you kept people's attention. But I'm good friends with, I'm assuming you might know Kevin Harrington. Do you know Kevin Harrington?
I remember him from Home Shopping, yeah.
So exactly. Kevin Harrington's a good friend of mine. He's actually, he's one of the original sharks from Shark Tank. He's coined as possibly one of the inventors of the infomercial and the way that it's actually done. And what I've learned from him was that there's a right way to do the infomercial and there's a ton of wrong ways to do the infomercial. And so when you first got on and you were like, okay, my job's not to just get their attention, but it's to keep their attention, and then turn that into obviously some sales, and whether that's them buying a product or them buying interest into my brand where they can keep getting more of my stuff down the road. So where did you learn? Who mentored you on how to execute an infomercial? Because you don't just go up there and talk. There's a process to it. So how did you get mentored? What was your mind around that?
Yeah, you know what, man? And first of all, it's a very interesting setup that you just gave me. The first and foremost thing is honesty, man. I think you look in the camera, and we all look in camera. Now we're all looking at Zooms. And, you know, you could look in a camera, or if you're watching TV or watching a movie, whether you're sitting with your wife or your friends or by yourself, and you can sit there and say, that guy's full of shit, or that guy's honest, or he's telling me a story. And the one thing I always said was, I can't sell anything that I didn't believe in. Okay? I never, as successful as I've been, fortunately, thank goodness, in the infomercial space, is because the products that we designed, we worked on, they worked. Now, you had to use them, Mike. But you know what? I left millions of dollars on the table in continuity in vitamins. I never took vitamins. I don't take vitamins. Mm-hmm. I don't take supplements. So I couldn't sell them. It's about honesty and a passion. And I didn't learn from anybody. I just said, if I'm going to do this, because I pushed against it in the beginning, because I didn't want to do what an infomercial was. It was like, oh man, you know, I'm setting myself up as this brand, you know, and this, you know, with honesty and integrity. And I thought, you know, an infomercial was you're selling a mop or something, with all due respect to mops, right? But I thought, wait a second, if I could do it my way, be honest, look in the camera, and talk to you. I can't talk above you, ain't that smart? But I sure as heck I'm not going to talk below you. But if I talk to you, and I get the right people around me, we can make this work. And we had tremendous success with that, Mike. But it all begins and ends with passion and honesty and integrity and authentic. Because as you know, you can't buy any of that stuff.
Yeah. The thing is, you did it so well that I think what a lot of people don't realize is how a brand, when it's done right with authenticity, you could tell that's really the guy. Like, he's probably like that everywhere he goes. You start to attract even more. I remember watching you in like movies. Like, you made it in, people got you in movies. Like, was it Coming to America? I saw you in Coming to America, I think.
Yeah. Listen, I've been in about 30 films. I started my own sitcom. I just produced my own feature film. You know, it's about really interesting. And this is because I know you talk to a lot of entrepreneurs and reach out to a lot of people. You need to go with your gut. And for me, listen, I was the first guy to do personal fitness training and made it an occupation, okay? In 1988 was the last time I trained somebody. I felt it in my stomach. I said, you know what? I've reached a point where now it's time for me to go on and expand who I am and what my brand is. I got into television, right? Into videos, books, infomercials, and that's when I said I wanted to create a television network, which I did, and became more of an executive there, and I kept branding. Then I launched and sold that to Rupert Murdoch. And then I launched the first on-demand fitness television network called Exercise TV, learned more, and brought the cable companies in as partners of mine, Comcast and Time Warner, and then sold it back to Comcast. And then had this dream, you know, I wanted to buy an NBA team, very honestly. That's the thing that didn't happen for me because I didn't have the right
team. The Knicks?
I was just interested. Well, I would love to put the Knicks, man.
But, I would rather you own the Knicks right now than the guy that's running it today.
Oh, listen, Jimmy is a good guy. Jimmy Dolan's a sweet guy. He's always been very great to me in the Cablevision family, great to me in the cable business. But I just want to make a point because the thing is, you keep parlaying and you listen to your gut. And look, life is about moments and taking shots. And for me, my life has always been about continuing to take shots, always based on, like I said, hope and health and family. So whether it was in actually founding Major League Lacrosse, right, which I did. It just finished its 20th season. I've been putting fitness centers in elementary and middle schools around this great country of ours. I've been chair of the National Foundation for Governors Fitness Councils now. This is my 8th year. I started in California with Arnold when he was governor, and I was chair of the Fitness Council, and then a year with Jerry Brown. Now I call governors cold, and I have 3 brand new $100,000 Don't Quit Fitness centers for each governor. So I choose 4 states a year. This October, right now, we just finished our virtual ribbon cutting tour because normally I'd be on the road, like cutting these ribbons in schools in Alabama, Indiana, Oklahoma, and Kentucky. And giving back is a big part. But now, as I sit here with you, I'm 62 years old, and nutrition has been a big part of my life. And like I told you, I never took vitamins. I don't take, not that I professed, hey, you shouldn't, right? I just never did. Not a supplement guy. I've always been a protein shake guy, though. Always made shakes. My kids, I call them the magic drink. And I come up with concoctions, and had an opportunity a couple of years ago. Met a group of people, the company here in Los Angeles called LA Libations, a guy named Danny Stepper. He has a beverage incubator. I've been investing in the beverage side of things amongst a lot of things, and had some big hits. And people thought I knew what I was talking about in the beverage space. And I see a lot of deals. And I went and visited this guy about investing, and he didn't have an interest in either of the companies that I had some interest in. And we started talking. I mentioned to him that I own the trademark to the words "Don't Quit." And I tell him the story. I was cut from my 8th grade basketball team at 14 years old. I was devastated, and a friend gave me a poem called "Don't Quit." And I wasn't a really good student in school. I sure as heck wasn't a poet. And this poem changed my life. I mean, it became a Bible verse to me. And the last 2 lines of the poem, as I'm sitting talking to him like I am to you, are stick to the fight when your heart is hit, when things seem worst, that you must not quit. And he goes, dude, are you familiar with the brands Ensure and Boost? It's adult nutrition. I go, I've seen the commercials. He goes, the category is stale. There were 110 million Americans over the age of 50. Now, this is 2 years ago. This is not the pandemic, right? That struggle with hope and their health. And if you look at the ingredient panel on Boost and Ensure, it's crap. It's chemicals. Let's work on something with a clean label. And I said, well, let me think about it. I did my homework. We got together, and I said, I'll get involved. My company, it's got to be me. I'm not a spokesperson. I need a clean label. No soy, no corn, no wheat, no artificial flavors or sweetness, right? Gluten-free, kosher, but most importantly, it has to taste delicious.
Yeah.
And we worked on this for about 1.5 years. We partnered with Keurig Dr. Pepper, a gentleman, Bob Gamcourt, is a CEO, a guy out of Jersey, one of the smartest executives, CEOs that I've met. You don't ever meet a lot. I've been very blessed to work with a lot of Fortune 500 companies and CEOs. You don't meet a lot of these people, men or women, who are entrepreneurial. Pam Cahaley, another gal, who is the president and CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona. That woman is straight up incredible entrepreneur.
Well, the way we got connected by Jordan Zimmerman, and he's a mutual friend of ours, and he owns that's like a $4.4 billion ad agency that he's running. And
OJZ, it's it, man. He is, I call him the original Jay-Z.
He's the original Jay-Z.
Mike. He's the original Jay-Z. But he and I, met each other a long time ago, reconnected about 9 years ago, and I brought OJZ in on this as well. And with his ability to market with hyperlocal and what he has built. See, that's the thing too. You have to understand as an entrepreneur, and this is important for everybody who's listening. You can't be if you think you can do it all, you end up becoming a legend in your own shower, as I say, and right. And it's important to understand you want to surround yourself with great people. I'm not a chemist. I don't work in a lab. So we needed to work with the right people to create this new daily complete nutrition shake that, man, oh man, no wonder why no one's in the space. It ain't easy. But if it's easy, everybody be doing it. And I just want to show you. So the brand is Don't Quit. I own the trademark. I trademarked the words in 1981, Mike. Okay, and I fought off all the big brands who have tried to, use Don't Quit. And I thought, quite frankly, that I have 4 kids, a girl and 3 boys, 28, 26, 21, and 19, that I passed the brand, the mark on to them, because there was nothing that I wanted to put Don't Quit on as its own. I've had subtitles in my books. I end every show with Don't Quit. But this product, right, this category, adult nutrition and active nutrition, is so big, and especially now when people are struggling. They want something convenient. You want something where I can drink something and get my 26 vitamins and minerals. I just want to show you. You open the fridge in the morning, Mike, and you see those words. Don't quit, baby. That's what it is. How does that make you feel? And the thing about it is, if you put us up against Boosted and Sure, we crush it in every step of the way. Have you ever seen anybody with a Booster and a Sure in a gym? Yeah. Walking around with one? No, they hide it.
Yeah.
They hide. This is something you want to. And the sugar that we use is pure cane sugar, right? 26 vitamins and minerals, 10 grams of protein, right? There's 14 grams of sugar in this because a lot of people need to get their carbs. But more importantly, we have a max version, 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, chocolate and vanilla. This is orangeicle. We got chocolate. I'm doing a little promo here for you, brother.
Let me just so everyone knows, this is why Jake has been successful his entire career. How much can you all tell, everyone watching, everyone listening right now, how much can you tell that he believes in his product? Like, listen to the way he talks about it. And that's the thing that a lot of people miss. They don't use the words about their own company and their own products the way that they talk about their favorite TV show. When in reality, they love their company and products as much, but there's that, it seeps out of your pores. You're like, man, it's amazing. You want to go to the gym with this. You open it up. What does that say to you? It's like the way you talk about your product. Yes, first off, I think it's fantastic that you're creating a product like this, because a guy like you, when you believe in something, you go all in. And so my guess is you spent a ton of time making sure that product was just right. So I think a lot of people are going to want to just take a look and understand what this thing's all about. But what I also want you to take away is the thing that you kind of caught indirectly, which was, this is how you should be talking about your stuff. If you're not talking about your product this way, how's anyone else going to get excited if you don't sound excited?
Just said, Mike, you know what though, but you just said something. The thing that's great is this, and it's not so much of me saying like this, right? Because it's great. It's got my mug on it, right? Okay, so right there it is, and no soy, no wheat, no corn, all this, right? Fuel the fight in you. Go to don'tquit.com or your Safeway, Albertsons, Vons, Ralph's in San Diego, all the way up and down the coast, wherever you're listening. Will be starting in Walmart November 1st. But the thing is this, before anyone buys Don't Quit, right, they have to buy you.
Right.
They have to buy. You're a brand. Everyone who's listening is a brand, is a product. So you need to, and by the way, it's got to be real. It's got to come out of your pores of how you believe. Going back to the beginning part of our conversation, you can look in the camera, and people know if you're real or not. Period.
I agree.
Period.
I agree with that, and I love how Don't Quit started from a moment in a poem. And I think that's how a lot of people, when you listen, some of the best entrepreneurs I've met, their mottos have come from a small spark, like a little moment. Even for me, GSD, where that came from, I didn't create GSD. GSD apparently was a thing. I didn't know about it. And I remember I met with this one guy that I first met him in this entrepreneurial group I was a part of. And at the time, my goals were different. At the time, I wanted to build $1 million company. It was very different back then. And because my goals shifted, because I started really caring about the product and the people, I stopped focusing on how big the company got, and I focused on how much of an impact I was making. And next thing you know, I blew by $1 million. And I went to go meet with this guy, Matt, who I met back when I had that goal. And he goes, so how's that goal coming along? I go, what goal? He's like, $2 million. And I go, oh, yeah, we passed that. But yeah, my goals are different. I was like, what do you want to do? And I go, I want to help this industry more than anyone on the planet. Like, I want everyone in this industry to know how to run a business better than they've ever done it. And he goes, well, GSD. And I go, what's that? And he goes, get shit done. And I go, that's pretty cool. He goes, you never heard of that? And I go, no, I never heard of that. And he's like, yeah. And he gave me a mug. He goes, here. And it said, get shit done on it. He's like, I don't know, I took it from here. And so I kept the mug. And then I started making my own mugs and shirts and the show. We got a conference called GSD Con. It's our whole motto here at Loud Rumor. But your motto of Don't Quit's lasted for now 30 years or so. And one of the coolest things you've done,
More than that, I'll tell you this though. Wait, hang on a second, because hang on. This is on my hold your thought. So, and this is true. I got the poem when I was 14. This is the poem that I was. Here it is. This is it.
Wow.
This you can't even see Don't Quit anymore, right? That's the poem. Look at the back, man. I can't make this up. This is I've kept this with me since I'm 14 years old, man. And this is it. This is it.
Isn't it crazy how we do stuff like that? Well, one day, hopefully, you're in Arizona. Come to my house for dinner. I got to show you. Like you, I save all these things. I got the drawing of our first mascot that I made when we first started the company, and I gave it to my aunt to make it, and she ended up framing it to me, giving it to my birthday years later, and I was just like,
but those are great moments, and here's the thing: you have to celebrate moments. It's like if you look behind me, all the different things, right? I did the voiceover for the Big Rat and Rat-Tattooing, which won an Academy Award. I ran in the 2012 Olympics with the torch in London. One of only 22 Americans.
That's the thing. When you said hold that thought, that's the thing I was going to say was one of the coolest things. In 2012, you were an official Olympic torchbearer to carry the inspirational flame in the Olympic Games in London, England. Dude, that is cool. That's a cool thing. I mean, imagine how good.
You know what though? It's the fun thing is, and what I want to get to everybody is anyone and everyone can be successful as long as you believe in yourself and don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fall down, because failure is not death. Failure is failure, right? You get up, you take swings. Whether you're in the gym, it's about repetitions, right? If you're a baseball player, you got to take as many cuts as you possibly can. Look, in school, like I make fun of myself, but you know, when I got a 73 on a test, my mom bought me ice cream. So, you know, that was a good day for me. And I've always said, you know, the guy with the C average hires the guy with the A average, only because guys with A averages, they're so smart, they pigeonhole themselves. You pigeonhole yourself because you don't want to fail. Because any idea, you can look at 27 different ways why this idea won't work. And I'll look at it differently, or a mindset of, let's take a shot, man.
Yeah.
There was no such thing as personal fitness training. I sort of came into it, right? Created what it was. There was no such thing as professional outdoor lacrosse, right? The oldest game in America, there was no pro game. I said, let's go do it. And here now, what we're doing with Don't Quit at don'tquit.com, right? Instead of just letting stuff be, I just said, we need something better. Like, look, Mike, especially today, you think the world needs another nutrition shake? You know, it only needs the best one.
Yeah.
And that's why we went out and did it with Don't Quit. And you can get it in supermarkets. And the thing is this, it's convenient, it's great for you. And that's what I want to do for you and your family. And that's what Don't Quit is about. That's what the Don't Quit spirit is about. And the opportunity to continue to take shots.
What's the future? So everyone listening, I'm excited about this question, because if I know Jake, he's already got a really good vision for it, because you seem like such a visionary guy. Everything seems so crystal clear as to what you want to accomplish for you. 5 years from now, 2025, what's the Don't Quit line look like? What are you hoping to accomplish?
Oh my gosh, man. We've got so many plans in food and beverage. We've already have licenses with Don't Quit coming in the next 12 to 24 months. We're going to start getting back to the hard good fitness game. We've got some really. I'm seeing more product now, Mike. from inventors, and my doors are always, it was always so interesting when I return a phone call. People think, they go, man, we never think you'd return a phone call. I said, look, as an entrepreneur, I try to return every single phone call, every single email, every opportunity, because you never know. Some of my biggest products, Mike, if you remember the Body by Jake ab scissor a Tower 200 that I did with Randy Couture, the ab scissor was a video back in the day, and it was this crazy, this massive piece of equipment. And I watched the whole video through, and at the end, the guy sits and he starts doing this thing, and I go, wait a second, he's this whole body weight training, right? This was 93, 94.
Right.
I go, whoa. Let's cut everything out. Let's just use this. He's doing a scissor routine, upper abs, lower abs, let's create a seat that works the obliques on both sides. Bang, let's go. We called the inventor. He goes, I can do, because that's not what I do. I'm not a builder, right? I don't physically build something. He goes, I'd love to have, let's go. That was the ab scissor. Take every meeting. Listen to everybody. You can make decisions, and that's what it's about. But that's what makes life so beautiful. Listen, I had an opportunity. I did a one-man show in Las Vegas a couple of years ago. I had this dream, because I do a lot of motivational speaking. I said, I wanted to do a night in Vegas. And I tested the show, just me telling stories about my life in Beverly Hills here. And the two producers who I brought in, they said, what do you want to do now? I said, I want to do a night in Vegas, one night only. And it's a great story. We sold out the MGM Grand, the Hollywood Theater. Tom Jones opened up for me. He was an incredible human man, such a sweet man. And we sold out 735 seats. And the best moment was the next morning, I'm in this massive suite, and the phone rang, and it was the concierge. And I'm with my wife. I'm so pumped up. And he says, Jake, we're getting calls of people wanting to buy tickets for tonight's show. And I go, you made my life, man. One night only. You just made my life. It was a great, but get out there and take shots is what I'm saying. Don't quit. That's what it is.
Yeah, two good takeaways from that. Number one, you never just settle. So you saw what the thing was, and you're like, wait, we could do this and we could do that, and that's what we were talking about, like, being an A student. Which, by the way, just because you were an A student doesn't mean you can't start looking at things differently. But of course, there is a challenge to it, because the questions in school are, if you got, I remember I got to hear Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, speak, and one of the things he said stuck with me too. And he said, in school they'll say, hey, if you got this rowboat with a rower rowing 5 miles an hour and this rowboat with a rower rowing 7 miles an hour, which one will get to their destination first if this one has to go this distance and this distance? And you just have to take those variables and come up with an answer. But an entrepreneur won't say, this is the answer, and there's only one answer. An entrepreneur is going to say, well, who's got more endurance? Who can turn it on when you get closer to the end? Who wants to win more?
Or I'll just get in the helicopter and beat them both.
Right. And so there's other angles to it, and that's one thing that I think a lot of people don't do. You see a lot of people opening up gyms and fitness studios are like, okay, this is what I have to do because everyone else is doing it. Whereas you get the most successful people going, wait, everyone's doing this. How do I do something a little different that works even better?
But Mike, though, and let's just end it on this, because you just said something, right? It's not because everyone else is doing it. Everybody is very different. No different than the way we all train, right? Everybody trains. That's what works for you might not work for me. What works for your wife or your mom and dad might not work for my wife and my kids. You have to find something that fits into your lifestyle, not your lifestyle having to fit into a program. Right. So whether you're a gym owner or entrepreneur, you have to base everything upon you inside, because you got to sell it. It goes back to what we started our conversation with, right? You as a brand, you believing in yourself, you saying to yourself, hey, wait a second, I got to stand up. I got to be passionate, pumped up about don't quit. Every single time I hold this up to a Zoom camera and say, open that fridge in the morning, go to don'tquit.com, there it is. Orangesicle, chai tea, chocolate and vanilla, right? But you got to believe. And that's the thing. Don't try to be somebody else. Be you. There's only one you. There's only one you. And at the end of the day is, man, right? Stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit. Don't quit on you. You're awesome, Mike.
I love it. Where can people go get some of those shakes right now? You said, is it don'tquit.com?
Don'tQuit.com. You go to Amazon now. It's available. We're in supermarkets. We're at all the. Actually, you're in Arizona. That's where my wife is from. Her sisters are there. So all the fries, or fries and Safeways in Arizona right now.
I'll tell you what.
Everywhere.
Let me do this for everyone that goes and buys a shake right now, and posts a picture of them with it, and tags Jake and myself in Instagram. I'm going to go ahead and feed a child for a full month through Feeding America. So we'll go ahead and do that. So just go ahead and take a picture.
Mike.
Take a picture of you holding the shake. Go to don'tquit.com, buy a shake, tag me and Jake in it, and once you get it, and we'll go ahead and feed some kids. Every time you drink a shake and take a picture, we'll feed a child for a full month. Sounds cool?
Wow, Mike, that was you gave me the chills, brother. Man, that's. I'm very rarely speechless, but I'm out now. I'm done. This is awesome. Thank you, brother.
Jake, I appreciate getting to know you, and I hope this leads to a good friendship for us down the road. So we've got to wrap up. I know you got to get going. For everybody watching and listening, thank you so much for tuning in, giving us your attention. Jake is a legend in the game, and not just the fitness game, but the business game. And it's really an honor for me to learn from you and be around guys like you too. So thank you all for watching and listening. Leave a review, and we'll see you next time.